I'm MC Toon, and it's Tuesday night. We've got a debate tonight with Preston. I didn't verify how to say the last name right. Preston Vaughn, I think. Is that right, Preston?
Yep.
All right. Well,
Preston Vaughn.
welcome to Preston. Welcome to everybody watching. If you're new, make sure to subscribe, and if you're not, then be sure to stay subscribed. Whatever. Anyway, Preston, why don't you introduce yourself here?
Preston Vaughn, grew up in the South. I've done a fair mix of all kinds of jobs, works of life, lived a long life for 38-year-old, and I've done a lot of observing of the sky in the last about 6-7 years. So I'm pretty relaxed, chill. I just like everybody else, open. I'm very theistic. I like philosophy. That's pretty much why I'm down the road I'm down today, I would say.
Thanks. So we he had issued a challenge on YouTube to debunk.
Where did you hear this, by the way? Where was it? Where did you just run into it?
People send me things all the time. So a friend of mine sent me a link to your video, your challenge video. So maybe you can explain your challenge, and then you had like something that you were going to present that is kind of the what should be challenged, what should be I guess my task to examine. So okay. Start with a challenge so people know what it is that your video is about.
My challenge was I have a theory based off my experiences and what I observe, that all the light, daylight, nightlight, sun, moon, stars, all the luminaries that we are seeing are small, close, and local to each person's personal zenith, and they come to and away each person's zenith, and all the light that you're seeing is projected from you, and that all the lights are centered to your experience, and they come to and away from your personal experience, and your circle of sight is very limited. And when you're seeing these objects, they're very close to you. I don't know what they are. I don't admit to knowing anything outside of my own personal experience bubble. And what I'm seeing and noticing from colors on the horizon, noticing that those colors are centered to my experience, knowing my circle of sight and vision is very limited in every which direction. Even if I go up very high, it's hard to prove, even if the earth is flat or not. But what I can prove, I do think that the luminaries follow you. They're close and local to you. They illuminate nearby clouds. The beams of sun rays at 9 p.m. and 5 p.m. are shooting away from you with crepuscular rays, which would mean they're within your area. And yeah, and like the moon only illuminates nearby clouds. We can all zoom in on stars with very optimal zoom cameras. So there's a lot of things where I just say my experience is telling me that I'm inside of some kind of divine simulation for creation, and that I'm experiencing my own lights. And that's pretty much my theory in the whole, and can pretty much be rounded about, answered over and over again with the same answer. So
what was specifically your challenge then?
To debunk that I'm not witnessing my own lights, and that they're not personal to each observer, and they're not small, close, and local to each observer. If you could prove that, then they're not centered to the experience and what we're seeing. Like when I witnessed the sun following me down the highway at 85 miles per hour, and I could speed it up times 6 and then zoom it back and forth and watch it appear to be right there in the sky, change shadings with the clouds as I'm speeding up and forwarding it down. It appears to be right there within the sky that I'm looking at, but yet you're telling me that's the same sun that somebody's witnessing on bottom of the ball, two completely different angles, and they tell me this is parallax. There's a lot of things that just don't make sense to me, and they're not anything close to what I'm experiencing, that I've been taught. So I stopped debating flat Earth and stopped. I actually like a lot of your videos. I think a lot of flat earthers don't do any research, any observations of their own, and they wander and repeat and regurgitate a lot of nonsense that like a 360-degree ice wall and a hard dome. I agree with most of a lot of things that globe earthers attack flat earthers on. I'll be completely honest about that. So, because I don't believe in the mainstream flat earth theory either. So,
Okay. So do you just do you have a map idea that you have?
a map idea? My map idea, pull out your phone, zoom all the way out, click on your map. That's my map.
Google Earth.
Yep, good old Google Earth map version.
That's a globe.
A map version. That's what I consider the Earth to be, is a realm, a system environment. You head in one direction long enough, you come back to where you came from. It's not that hard to imagine if you can imagine people upside down and water sticking to a ball. There's not that hard to imagine that we're inside of a realm and a system environment.
Nobody claims that anybody's upside down sticking to a ball.
Right, but that's what they say the planet is, that it's a spherical object with water surrounding it, right?
But nobody's upside down.
So there's no pieces of land that are on the bottom.
There's no bottom. Side. There's no bottom.
I agree with you. There's no bottom. So everything's at top.
On the globe, down is towards the center. So it sounds like you're going after a straw
Inward
man.
And outward.
So you know, attacking
up and down.
Yeah, attacking a straw man doesn't actually succeed in proving your point. It just succeeds in attacking something that isn't the globe. So there is no bottom to the globe. There's nothing falling that would fall off the bottom of the globe. Down is towards the center of the globe, and up is away from the center.
Up and down is only on a flat Earth. In and out is on a globe.
Well, I being that it's my model, I'll use the words I want to describe it. You describe your model with your words. I'll describe model with my model.
Well, up and down on a sphere isn't up and down for everybody. Inward and outward, it would be up in and out for everybody on your model. That's what I'm just trying to say.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. So the downward vector is based on where you are on the globe, right? So
okay.
Towards the center. So all right. So I think your model right here. This one. This is your model.
A cylinder? No, I would lay it flat. And have you ever looked at ancient depictions of ancient civilizations? I would say, but yeah, pretty much kind of like that.
The problem is that people go to the North Pole and South Pole all the time. There's people that live at the South Pole year round, so it can't be this big wide thing like it would have to be if it were like what map you're suggesting. Because it's not that big.
Well, I've never been there, but I'm
just saying. I don't care if you've been there or not.
That's the map that we all use for travel.
No, it's not. In fact, the map that people use for travel is a globe. All maps, all navigation is based on the globe. And what happens when you lay that
globe flat?
It gets projected and distorted. It gets distorted. You know that, right? When you see a map that says
think the flat Earth is projected onto a globe, and when you lay it flat, you get a square octagon map. You get a realm. Like a
square.
If you like a square.
Wait, what's a square octagon?
I said square or octagon. I get what you're doing here, but anyway,
there's two different shapes.
I'm saying we live on a object like this, and you head in one direction long enough, you'll return to where you came from. And the map that you use is the same map that I use.
No, my map is based on a sphere. But so if somebody were to go north,
the map that you put on the sphere is the map that I use.
On your map, if somebody goes north from Siberia, they're going to wind up like falling off the edge of your map, or what's at the edge of your map on the north?
I don't know. South? I've never been there.
Okay, you've never been there. So ignore everybody else's.
I'm not arguing map science. I'm arguing what I experienced with inside of my own. With the lights in the sky.
So deny everything that other people have done for centuries. Okay, got it.
No, I'm just using what we all use. That's it. Exact same thing everybody else uses, I use. So.
Yeah. Okay. It sounds like a little Pac-Man-ish to me.
Yep. It's exactly what it is. It's a system environment.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So your particular the challenge to me though is to debunk your idea of the sun and moon and stars that we see are somehow personalized.
Correct.
Okay. So, I need a little more information
Okay.
about your idea. So for example,
I can give you an example.
what is the sun made of, and how, where is it located?
I don't claim to know where it is or know what it is.
Okay,
I know
I
it,
can't
I know
deny,
it appears to be a light.
I can't deny, I can't
That's all.
debunk, I don't know.
I don't claim to know everything.
Okay. But you want me to debunk your idea of the sun, and I ask you a qualifying question. And
I'm
you
just saying that it's
know.
small, close, and local. I'm not trying to claim what it is.
How far away is it?
I would say when I'm seeing it, it's within my horizon. Once it's rising to me, it's within my circle of sight.
So can you quantify that, please?
It depends on my elevation, atmospheric density. On an average day, I would probably say 50 miles max at most at the sun setting. So
the sun is 50 miles away when it's setting from you.
I would say about something like that.
And that's your personal sun. That everybody else has their own personal sun too?
It's like a grand design. We're all witnessing like the same kind of experience, but within our own circle of sight.
So now what about a camera where there's not a person? It's just a camera.
I thought along about that too. That's a good question.
Okay, so
don't have any answers on that one.
It's not very personal if it's just a camera.
But I know the cameras don't pick up light nearly quite the same as the sun, nearly as our eyes do. They're much
they do better.
Smaller, and
they do better.
I don't think so. I witnessed the sun and the moon much better than my cameras pick up, at least without zooming on them. But to the naked eye, the eye looks much better than my camera pictures do. So.
Wow. Well, get a better camera.
Why would I need a better camera when my eyes?
Because cameras do much better than eyes do.
Okay. I like looking through my own experience.
I don't care about your own experience. That, you know, there's things that we can do to measure and quantify things, right? For example, we can measure the angle to the sun, right? And we can say, all right, well,
like with crepuscular rays, we could do that, or.
I've never seen anybody measure the angle to the sun using crepuscular rays.
Geometry, make a triangle.
I've seen people make claims about it, but never actually use crepuscular rays to answer any questions like how high is the sun?
We'll say it would seemingly be localized.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You made my point. Nobody's ever used crepuscular rays to quantify anything. Okay, in science, we can quantify things by measuring them, right?
So you can prove that the sun's 93 million miles away?
Well, pseudoscience would be where you go for proof. Okay.
Well, I'm just giving you what I observed, and I observe a small, close, and local sunlight, and that's what thousands of other and millions of other flat earthers are experiencing too. I'm just the one suggesting that it's personal.
I think you're a little. I like your optimism there, but characteristics of pseudoscience number 8: professes certainty, talks of proof with great confidence. In science, we don't prove things.
I test and observe. That's what I do.
Yeah. So, but you asked for proof. So I just want to be clear. I don't prove that the sun is 93 million miles away. We just measure that the sun is 93 million miles away.
Okay.
Okay. So one way to do that would be to bounce radar off the sun and then time how long it takes for the light or for the radar to go there and back. Right. So it takes just under 1,000 seconds from when you send the signal until you receive the signal back. About 980 seconds.
Do you have any observations that we can bring up pictures and look and test and observe, and you can show me time lapses, sunrises, sunsets? Do you have anything that you can physically show me with our eyes and be like, hey, look, it's over the curve. It's not in your atmosphere. It's 6 time zones away from you. It's not rising there in front of you. It's 6 time zones away from you. It's in England right now, even though you're in Texas and you're witnessing it with clouds behind it. Why do I witness the clouds behind the sun all the time? Can you answer that one for me?
That's never happened, in fact.
I can show you a picture of it on Netflix right now.
What you can show is a picture of the sun without a solar filter on it, making it appear like you can't see the clouds that are nearby. But if you put a solar filter on it, you'll actually see it. Flat earthers never know how to do photography. I don't know. It's like it's a rule that you can't know how to do
I
photography.
see them with the naked eye, and I see them when I zoom in on them.
But the eye isn't a precision measuring device.
I said with the camera and the eyes. So you can go look at
with a camera and a solar filter on it, show you what you're asking for, and show
you've been to Dallas and you've never witnessed the clouds behind the sun.
I don't need to go to Dallas.
It's really flat here, and you can see the sunrise and set from a far distance.
So
it becomes at a low angle. In fact,
the problem is
see the clouds behind it.
The sun could never set if the Earth were flat. That's kind of silly, but anyway.
Why could it not if it's not setting for your individual circuit?
Because what you've done is you've described a very vague and general idea.
I thought it was very specific.
No, it's very extremely vague. Very specific would be it's you'd give quantities. It's this far away, it's this angle, here's how I predict the angle of this is, you've got no predictions. In science, we predict things. And then you make a prediction, and if that prediction is correct, then that gives credence to the model that you've put into building that prediction, right? So you didn't actually make a prediction. For example, in Sydney, Australia, on December 20th, using your idea, your very specific, apparently, idea, what angle will the sun rise in Sydney, Australia on December 20th?
I'm not from Sydney, Australia.
I don't care. If your model was any good, it would tell me which angle it would rise from. If you don't have that, you don't actually have a specific idea. You have a vague generalization.
I'm speaking from personal observation and experience,
but
I want people to go just test and observe them themselves.
It's not testable. We can't even test.
Why is it not?
Because you won't even provide to me how I can make it on
at 4 p.m. is lighting up all the clouds within your area, the insides of all the clouds.
How can I make a prediction with your model? How can I make prediction with it? What angle will the sun? What time will the sun rise? What angle will it be at noon on any particular day in any part of the Earth? Anything like that.
It works exactly the same as lobe science.
I'm sorry.
Because I'm using the exact same map you're using. I'm just saying it's small, close, and local to me. So flat, stationary.
Here's what I can do. I can take a physical globe, and I can put it on my table, and I can put a light source far away from it.
Well, I haven't built a model.
Hold on, I'm not done talking. And I can set it for whatever day of the year I want, right? By adjusting the tilt on it. And then I can say, all right, well, for sunrise on December 20th, on Sydney, Australia, put a point right there on where Sydney, Australia is, and look at the angle to the sun and measure that on the actual globe, right? And I can predict the actual angle of sunrise. Right. Well, and then we can go and we can look and see what angle did the sun actually rise on that day. Right. So that's how you make a prediction. That's how we do science. Right. You have a hypothesis. With your hypothesis, you make a prediction. Then you test your prediction to see if it's correct. And if the prediction is correct, that gives credence. It gives support to your hypothesis. You don't have a hypothesis yet. I need that in order to test it. And then we can see if it's debunked or not.
Gotcha.
So how can I
understand what you're saying.
How can I make a prediction from your hypothesis here?
The sun and the moon circuits are always the same, and they're of the Earth, so they're going to always, the angle of the light's going to be the same. It's just on a flat and stationary model. The angle at which you're going to see that light in Australia will be the same on your model as it is in my model. The circuit of the sun is always constant and seasonal.
Right, so you don't have a hypothesis yet. That's the problem.
Well, I'm saying your model is built off my model, and you're saying my model is built off your model.
You don't have a model yet because we can't even make a prediction.
I told you, lay your globe flat and bring everything local to the observer, and that's what you're witnessing.
Okay, so maybe I'll do this then. I will have an idea for you. I think you like the equinoxes, right?
I like equinox, yeah.
Okay, so on the day
bit of equal light
of the equinox, what angle does the sun rise? Everywhere.
Somebody said you're a danger to children. What?
So what angle does the sun rise on the equinox?
You're east, directly east.
due east,
Due east.
right? Okay.
You face east, and it's where it rises from you.
Everywhere.
For
Due
everybody,
east.
because it's personal to you. Right.
And so now on the equinox,
Mhm.
the sunrise is at the same time everywhere on one line of longitude, right? So if we take your map, and I'm not gonna where'd I put it? Right here. I'm not gonna cut this. I have it taped together. I'm not gonna undo that, right? But if we take your map here, right, and we look at here from the southern tip of South Africa all the way up to the top here in Scandinavia, right? All of these people see due east, the sun.
Correct.
Okay. And so that means that the sun for these people is off wrong way, that direction, over Siberia maybe. And for here, it's over, Australia at the same time for those people. Right? So this isn't what we use, because that fails instantly, because there's only one sun actually, right? Not infinite suns for every point of the earth. Right. So you've said so far it looks like it's a dome to me, but didn't explain
I haven't said anything about a dome, really.
Didn't all right, whatever you said. You didn't describe a mechanism by which it works. You didn't propose.
I'm only going off of my experience.
You didn't propose anything that we could use to test your idea. So I can't debunk what has not yet been bunked. You need to first substantiate your claims in a manner that we can test.
Pull up any pictures of the sunrise or the sunset.
That doesn't substantiate it, right? That completely matches the globe.
All right. You ever looked up at the moon at midnight and it's only illuminating nearby clouds above your head?
So
you ever done that? Okay.
Sure.
So say you're on a plane and there's nothing blocking between you and a second observer that's 2 miles away. The second observer is going to see that moon above their head, and you're going to see the moon above your head. Both people are going to be witnessing a personal moon that's lighting up their personal cloud, and the moon is a physical object, supposedly you're saying, lighting up a physical object, which is the cloud. So if that cloud is fully lit up, then it should be fully lit up to both observers, but only one observer is going to witness the light, and that's the person, the cloud they're seeing above them. If they look at the other person's cloud, it's going to be dark to them. But a physical light lighting up a physical cloud, you should see that cloud lit up, but you're not. You're only seeing your light because it's personal to you.
Okay, so you don't understand how light comes through clouds. Got it.
So I understand how a physical light lighting up a cloud, that cloud should stay lit up. Regardless of how the light behaves, that cloud should stay lit up.
Yeah, so the problem is that you're not understanding that the light is actually lighting up all the clouds, but because of the stacked clouds that you're looking at, you see all the stacked clouds. Somebody else.
The moon is lighting up something? It's a moonlight?
Yeah.
It is? Yeah. The moon is a light, you're saying?
The moon, light comes from the moon. Yes, it goes from the sun, bounces off the moon, and then comes to us.
Okay, I was just wondering. You kept calling it moonlight, so I was just wondering.
Yeah, that is what we call it.
All right. And you keep calling it a sunrise. I haven't figured out what y'all call Earth spin quite yet, but you keep saying sunrise, and you keep using flat Earth terms.
Well, from an ECEF model reference frame, it is appropriate. So it's based on reference frames, right? So everybody has their own reference frame, which is from their point of view. So it's fine to say in a non-formal method, you can say sunrise, but yeah, if you want to get real particular, it is specifically the Earth rotating. But people understand that, right? So anyway, I got a couple questions here. A guy called "I've never seen such behavior in the war room before" is asking you, according to the globe model, not your model, according to the globe, why are there two celestial poles?
According to the globe model?
Yeah.
Some long drawn out argument about magnetism, I would sure. So magnetic poles, yeah.
Celestial poles, not magnetic
celestial poles, yeah.
Do you know what celestial poles are?
Yeah. What? And I know how they work on a square plane too.
What are the celestial poles?
Well, there's the North Pole where everything spins around Solaris, and there's the Southern Crux where everything spins around the southern location.
Okay.
which seems more open than it does closed. When like the northern Solaris seems more like a tighter spiral, where the southern crux is more wide open. It feels like from all the star trails that I've observed and witnessed. So
More wide open. I don't know what that means.
it's got like a wider type rotation. When I look at time lapses, there's no focal point spiral. It's more like a wide open area when it's rotating around the southern point.
So that the stars near the middle of the southern celestial pole aren't as bright as the stars near the middle of the north celestial pole?
I don't know. I've never been there, so I can
I'm
only
just,
tell you the stars
just-
that I observed.
just trying to clarify what. All right, so there you go. I've never seen such behavior in the war room before. P. Barnes has noticed that it sounds like a Sunview timeshare. Like everybody has a chance to see the sun for a minute. Like maybe it's more like a microkernel in an operating system where you're time sharing, time slicing, right?
I think the lights are being projected from an outside plane onto our plane, and that's what we're seing. Like we're seeing a projection.
What are they
The
projecting
lights
onto?
are, yeah, I don't know, the upper sky somewhere. I don't know, the firmament. I would say, whatever.
Okay, and
Upper firma, terra firma.
how far away is the firmament?
It's the sky. The sky is the firmament.
Is it a physical thing or just
No, I think
the-
it's a
the-
no.
the
I don't believe it's a
expanse?
hard dome. I like there's a lot of flat earthers that believe it's a molten glass ceiling, but I don't think molten glass spins in 3 separate directions.
okay? So it's projected onto the firmament, but the firmament isn't.
It's a magical, illusory, non-tangible object that holds the stars and the sun and the moon.
Magic. We're
Yeah,
back to
it's magic.
we're back to
Yep.
pseudoscience.
Just like with people upside down, balls floating in the middle of nothing, and
So-
a perfect clockwork.
Yeah,
biological
more
clock for every person.
That's just strong.
That's
But
perfect science rotating around each and every one of us. That's just an accident.
So let's see, number 9, that's commits logical fallacies, arguments containing errors in
Something
reasoning.
out of nothing is a logical fallacy. Water
Again-
sticking to the exterior of objects is a logical fallacy.
Yeah, more logical
You thinking
fallacies.
that you can
So-
see 4,000 miles to a sunrise is a logical fallacy.
No, it's actually measured and testable and confirmed and backed by many observations.
Okay.
Number 5, this is the good one. Characteristics of pseudoscience number 5, lacks plausible mechanism. No way to explain it based on existing knowledge. That is characteristics of pseudoscience number 5. Number 2 would be relies heavily on anecdotes, personal experiences, and testimonials. That
Wow.
is
Well,
pseudoscience number 2.
Shouldn't that be what everybody does? Rely on personal experiences and experiments that people can go test and repeat themselves?
Yeah. So
That's what I do on my channel. So
yeah. So number 1 characteristic of pseudoscience is it is unfalsifiable. So you have described something that cannot be tested. Therefore, it is unfalsifiable. Everything you've described so far is pseudoscience.
to you,
To, I guess,
to
people that
yeah,
agree
what
with
you believe,
pseudosciences.
what you believe.
Um,
This is what I observe and experience in my reality.
So, all right. The logical hillbilly says a new flirt tactic be as vague as possible to avoid having to show evidence. Not that they ever do anyway. I mean, I've done a couple hundred of these, and no flat earthers ever brought evidence. You've made claims, and you want something debunked, but you didn't describe it well enough to actually test. So, but yeah, the logical hillbilly, that's pretty common. That's exactly what Nathan's little clone does.
So question, do you think the sun following me down the highway, you honestly think that's parallax and that it's able to follow everybody within the same time zone? And then that's parallax, that's the reason they're witnessing it follow them?
That is literally how things that are very far away act. Yeah, so if you're driving down the road, the trees really close to you whiz by, the trees farther don't, move as
No,
much.
I get how
angular.
motion
and
works.
the
I'm
stuff
just asking
very,
you.
very
No,
far
I
away.
get
Hold on,
you.
no, I'm
I
almost
understand
done.
how it works.
No, I'm
I
almost
understand
done.
how it works. You don't have to
Very,
talk down
very
to
far
me.
away. They don't
don't have
hardly
to talk
move at
down
all.
to me.
Okay,
I
so
understand how all that
that's
works.
how that's
I'm
why the
just
sun
asking
doesn't
if you
appear to move.
honestly think it doesn't follow you. You honestly think that that's what the definition is, and what?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's how things that are very far away act.
Okay.
I got some tune shine here, so hold on.
So how come I can zoom in on stars but not objects on the horizon?
What do you mean?
How come I can't magnify an object on the horizon and it seems to be out of my Nikon P900 zoom range, but I can zoom in on a star trillions of miles away that seems to be pretty small as well?
You can zoom in on anything. Zoom just makes things.
It's a magnify. I get you.
Yeah, it just makes things larger. That's all it is. And if the aperture has enough size, then it can enhance the detail as well.
Right. But it's trillions of miles away. How is this low zoom camera pulling that off? Like,
I've never actually seen something that P900 or P1000 actually zoom in on a star. They still remain a point light source in a camera that's properly focused. You can zoom in on like Jupiter and Saturn. You can actually with a P900 or P1000, you can make out Jupiter's moons. So that's cool. I don't know how you.
So do you think we landed on the moon? Do you believe everything NASA's ever said?
I believe that my friend Charlie Duke, who signed this book, I bought it right there, that he was on the moon. Yes.
Okay.
So, all right, where did this? Oh, do plants photo? Hold on. This is a little scrolled funny. From P Barnes again is asking another question to you.
So how did, can you answer this one since you seem to be pretty intellectual? Sure. How did Nixon call the moon from a landline?
Did you really not do your own research on that?
No, it's 239,000 miles away.
He didn't do it from a landline. Are you asking sarcastically? Or are you actually asking? Because I mean, I'll answer you, but it's embarrassing for you.
Well, give me my embarrassment then.
Okay.
I want to hear it. Yeah.
He didn't. Hold on.
We have two different audiences, so I'm a little bit playing to them as you're playing to your audience.
There it is.
It's entertaining for both of our crowds.
Yeah. So. He called down. He called to I think Houston over the landline, and then they relayed it over a radio dish to the moon. Right. I don't know why that's a hard thing to understand.
Okay.
What? Right. Why would you ask such a silly question? Like, did you not actually do any research on that?
I just wanted you to answer it. That's all.
But did you not actually do any research on that? Because it's not that hard to figure out. Flat earthers ask that kind of stupid stuff all the time on Facebook, as if it's going to support their point. All it does is make them look stupid. So did you do that to make yourself look stupid? No. That's all you've accomplished there, Preston.
So you think we can send a signal 239,000 miles away and have it perfectly commute signal back?
Absolutely. It's not difficult.
Okay.
Anybody with a ham radio who cares to do it can do it. They do the EME all the time. Earth, moon, Earth. They send a message and they bounce it off the moon and they can hear back their own voice. Right? If you were interested in confirming if the moon is close or far, you could go find a ham radio guy that would do it for you. The problem with ham radio guys is getting them to not tell you all sorts of stuff. I don't know if you ever met one.
I had a friend that used to call himself some kind of squirrel master and play on CB radios all the time. So I know the type of crowd you're talking about.
CBs aren't quite the same, but all right.
Same kind of character.
Yeah, I suppose. All right. Yeah. And they always have I don't know if it's here, but they always have their license plate as their call sign. And there's a 0/ in it. All right. So P Barnes asks, do plants photosynthesize using their own personal sun, or do they borrow the nearest person's personal sun?
I would say there's light of the Earth, and of your grid location, you will see certain things like the aurora borealis, certain phenomena, eclipses that are of the earth, the plants are of the earth, as well as there's a source of the light, but you're witnessing your own inside of your own experience bubble. They're small, close, and local to each observer when you see them, but there is a source to light for all of us. So.
Okay. That doesn't really answer much, does it? It's not very testable. How can I test that?
Well, you have all these definitions of how it's not personal to you, like parallax and yada yada yada, and
yeah,
I can explain it for
you
multiple and close and far.
You can measure things.
Yeah, so
you can measure things, right? All you have is, well, I don't know. It just looks like this to me. That's not
measure
science.
Things outside of my experience bubble. I'm going to measure something that's within my circle of sight, and that thing that I'm witnessing that appears to be projected right above me. And you're going to tell me it's the same one 5,000 miles up underneath the ball, even though mine's above me and theirs is below them down here. And that's the sun's going here is parallax. But even though it's going the opposite direction. So you got Johannesburg is down here and Finland up here. They're separated by 6,000 land miles.
Yeah.
And the sun's on top of both of them going in opposite directions. How is it over here? That's parallax, though. Like
it actually is perfectly predicted on the globe. The angle to the sun from both of those
opposite
positions.
Directions, though.
Yeah. So in Johannesburg, at midday, the sun is due north, and in Finland, the sun is due south, midday. Perfectly predicted on a globe. It's not that difficult.
Well, you keep giving me predictions and things, and I'm just saying
that's what science does.
Yeah.
And you've given me nothing.
You're giving me things that are just commonly known. Need not say, but they all work on my model. I'm trying to ask you to provide me physical observations and evidence that you're not doing through pictures or some kind of show within your own experience that you can provide for me I'm saying.
I sure, absolutely. I personally measured the angle to the sun on the same day as multiple other people did. Okay, both on both solstices and both equinoxes.
I've done this too.
So on the equinoxes, I'm in Minneapolis, and I am very close to 45 degrees north. So the angle to the sun was very close to 45 degrees above true level, right? The zenith angle was 45 degrees. Now, I am 3,105 miles from the equator. So when you do that simple triangulation, how high is the sun if the earth is flat?
I'm asking you to give me observations and not mathematical equations.
I don't care that you don't understand the math, right? This is how science is done.
Equation after equation that has no relation to the reality that's
okay. So you just have no.
That's what Tesla said. That's what Tesla said.
I don't. Tesla knew the Earth was a globe.
Did he though? Because I have lots of quotes that would suggest that he did not. He also believed in the firmament. He said it 3 or 4 times in several different speeches.
Yeah,
which means you don't believe in outer space. Which means you don't believe in outer space.
Firmament doesn't mean to him what it means to you. To him, firmament means sky, because they were King James was the version of the Bible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's what I call it. That's what I call it too.
Whatever is the sky is the firmament to them. So
the stars are in the sky.
It's not a solid thing. You don't think it's a solid thing.
Nope.
It's just the expanse. So, but Tesla talked at length about sending satellites into space, into orbit around the Earth. He talked about rockets. So he talked about he calculated the amount of time that it would take for an electromagnetic wave to go around the Earth.
He was trusting the scientists that were also putting knowledge before him and what they were saying. So,
but absolutely, and so you don't get to say that
he
thought the Earth was flat, because it wasn't. It wasn't.
I could bring up many quotes where it would disagree with globe science. Many quotes. So
yeah. Oh, we've got in the chat here. I've got Many Karen, who is he lives in Israel, and his first language is Hebrew, and it's just sky. Firmament is just
Father sky, firmament, dome, all the same thing.
So all right, so you've not provided anything yet, and for some reason
I'm
you
not
think that
challenging
I
you.
should
You're
be
challenging
providing.
me.
No,
Yeah.
you
You
issued the
accepted my
challenge.
challenge.
Yeah, I accepted your challenge. So I'm asking you to
To
provide
debunk my
something
theory. That was the challenge.
but you've not
you
provided. You haven't
haven't provided me with any observations.
You haven't.
None
you
of
haven't,
your own. Nothing of your own.
You
but
haven't yet provided a hypothesis that I can test.
straw man mathematical equations that have
So
no relation to my reality.
It's not a straw man at all. To do math somehow you think is a
Show
straw
me
man.
reality.
That's
Show
the most
me
ridiculous
reality.
thing
That's
ever.
what I'm asking
okay,
you.
You have not yet provided anything that I can test. Nothing to debunk has been presented yet. You've said, I kind of feel these things are this way. Debunk it. No, I'm sorry. You didn't present anything that I could debunk. Right? Here's the deal. People have measured the distance to the moon. People have measured the distance to the sun. You provide, I don't like it, therefore it's not real. I just saw something, and that's it.
Yeah.
You are specifically just stating your opinion and ignoring measurements because you don't like them. Right? So
I'm saying what you're witnessing works on my model too, regardless of your measurements, because it's personal. The observer, they're going to witness it at the same angle anyway.
But personal to the observer is not testable. It's an unfalsifiable claim. It is pseudoscience.
That's what we're observing, and I know hundreds of people that are all experiencing what I'm experiencing. So why is it a growing movement where they're all experiencing?
Because there's a growing movement of people that don't understand science, like you.
Okay.
But you don't have a clue about science, right?
Well, you want to discuss academia, and I want to discuss science.
I
want to test and observe. You want to discuss statistics and academia, what's already agreed upon, not groundbreaking science, which is what I'm offering to you. And I'm asking you to show me observations, show me a sunrise, show me a sunset, show me some pictures where it doesn't seem local to you.
Seem local is useless.
Observed local. Yeah, is that better for you?
I don't care. How about measured? That's how we do science. Right? You measure things. You make a prediction. You measure it. You see if it fits. If it doesn't fit, then you start over. You adjust your hypothesis. You did nothing.
Well, show me these measurements. Show me a video of somebody measuring this.
Sorry. Measurements aren't just video. Scientists don't do their work. They don't do their work on YouTube.
They should.
Is this new to you?
It would end a lot of flat earth debates.
There is actually no debate. It's just a big joke. I list these as entertainment. This is entertainment for intelligent people.
Actually, I don't ever come to these. I just yeah.
So what groundbreaking? You presented nothing groundbreaking, right? If you wanted to do something groundbreaking,
theories are. They suggest something, and they test and observe,
and then you test it. So, but I can't test. How do I test?
Go outside and look around, drive around.
Then what? Look around and drive. How do I test it? How do I measure the distance to the sun using just look around? You can't. Right? It's just, it looks like this. No, here's what happened. You decided that the earth is flat. And now you're trying to shoehorn an idea into it to do it. You've done the opposite of science. You started with a conclusion. You're looking for things that you can shoehorn fit into your conclusion, ignoring things that you don't like, and then declaring, I've proven myself. You didn't do that, actually. You didn't prove anything. You didn't substantiate anything. You just said, it looks this way. Doesn't help. It doesn't do anything. We can't test that. That's anti-science.
So you don't want to observe anything or look at anything? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. I can look at it and I can
show me
hey, the sun has set. Something got in the way of it. Right? If the earth were flat, nothing could ever get in the way of the sun. The sun could never set if the earth were flat. This is simple, right? It's simple geometry. You don't even have to do any math, right? Here we go.
Well, the ground you're standing on is going to become eye level. So therefore you can't see behind your eye level, and it's going to set behind.
Here's your flat earth, right? There's your
telephone
your
poles disappear, right? But they're on the flat plane, right?
Here's the sun.
Mm-hmm. I've been on a 100-mile stretch of flat land in Texas.
Here's the sun.
Yeah, and watch things disappear. Yeah.
Here we go. See that? There's the sun. There's an angle. See that angle theta there?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Now, if I move the sun farther away, right, which is fine, right? We get a new angle of theta. It is reduced. Okay? How far away does the sun need to be for theta to become negative? Do you know? This is simple. We teach this to 7th graders. Preston, did you like just not pay attention in school? It seems.
So are you done presenting your little demeaning, condescending sideshow? I thought we could be actually nice and civil to one another. You're being a complete fucktard. Like,
you've presented nothing.
No,
but
you're being
pseudoscience.
a fucking asshole. You're being a fucking asshole.
You've got pseudoscience.
You know you are.
This
Look
is
at your little
7th
shit-eating
grade
grin on your face.
This is
Why are you
absolutely.
being
I'm
a
making
fucking
fun of
asshole?
you for being so dumb that you can't comprehend
being
7th grade
non-theistic.
math.
You're saying
This is 7th
I
grade
learned
math.
what I learned in 2nd grade is the truth, globe science.
This is just
and now
math.
It's what I
This
choose
is
to
just
believe, and I'm
math.
going to make
Yeah,
model fucking
absolutely.
spaceships on the
Because
back
flat
of my
Earth
desk.
is a religion for
and have
uneducated
toys
science
and books
deniers
from
like you.
Masons.
That's it.
No, but you can't show me the
it's your
observations.
religion.
No, it's
your religion because you
Copernicus
deny
is your Jesuit priest.
actual math.
Do you have
actual
a drawing of
observations.
Copernicus on your wall somewhere? Like maybe next to Epstein and
so here's what you've done.
Clinton's photo.
You've demanded somebody
No, I'm asking for you to
debunk your
show me some
challenge,
proof.
and you've presented nothing.
You
nothing
presented
at all.
nothing. You presented nothing at all.
I
made a simple
showed
statement and
I
observation.
showed you how the sun right here. The sun cannot set.
You showed me a pen and a drawing. You showed me
that's
a
it.
Sharpie and a white sheet of paper.
That's all I need to debunk flat Earth. This is it. The sun could never set if the Earth were flat. Never.
Oh, I thought this was going to be better. I thought this was going to be a better little show, other than to just.
But you presented nothing.
No, I thought you would be able to like.
But you have
show
pseudoscience. You have unfalsifiable claims, and personal anecdotes.
No,
You've got no
I can
plausible
only speak
mechanism.
from my experience.
You've got
and
no
multiple
plausible
observation,
mechanism.
triangulated experiences that would.
You did no
suggest
triangulation.
the same thing.
Where's your triangulation?
Well, at the moon, I told you about why is it not lighting up.
That's not triangulation. That's just.
You can do it with multiple people. You triangulate it. Yeah, there you go.
That's not triangulation. That's not how
Multiple
it works.
observations.
Oh, oh.
Why am I not seeing their cloud lit up even though it's lit up to them? Can you answer that question? And you're going to say perspective, and that's not how light works. And you're going to explain things away because it's an optical illusion, or that's how parallax works, or some scientific explanation that has no relation to the reality of what I'm looking at.
Science hurts your precious.
Academia that has been controlled and is not letting in other sciences and observations to be.
But you didn't.
Said. No,
you didn't present any science. You presented pseudoscience. It's unfalsifiable.
No, I presented
science
what people are experiencing in reality.
But
what multiple people are experiencing that I've gone and tested with people.
But you've presented an implausible mechanism
with people,
and we're
experiencing dark clouds to one another.
Yeah, it's an implausible
I'll get it on Google
mechanism.
Hangout for you, and I'll be sure to link it to you.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, Angel Gary is asking, drive around and tell me how fast you're going without measuring the speed. Right? When you drive around, you look at the speedometer, right? There's a measurement there. Are you going to deny that measurement?
No.
No, you're not. Right. The reason why you're not is because you know you need to be accurate, or you might get in trouble and get pulled over and have some fines, right? But if you didn't have a speedometer, you wouldn't know how fast you're going. Your body doesn't have that capability. Right?
Correct.
It's just right.
You know when you're moving,
Our bodies
right?
are not equipped with precision measuring instruments. Right? That's why
you don't
we have
think we
tape
have finely
measures.
tuned senses?
No, not at all. We have tape measures and rulers and
How many
things that
branches
measure.
did you hit on the way down?
Angles.
I think I have pretty good senses. I think I can tell when I'm moving and when I'm not moving.
No, you actually can't. What part of human anatomy measures constant velocity?
Oh, I know when I'm moving in a car and when I'm not moving in a car. I know when I'm moving in a plane and not moving in a plane.
The reason why is because there's slight movement. But if you're in a plane moving at 200 miles an hour or 600 miles an hour, can you tell the difference?
No, just like
No,
if
you
everybody's
can't.
moving fast down a super fast highway, it's relative to everybody around you moving.
Exactly. You don't have, there's no part of the human anatomy that can measure constant speed. None. Right? So you can measure, we can not measure, we can feel acceleration. But once we get to speed, we can't feel that. We can feel bumps in the road. We can feel slight changes in the plane because it's the
You
engines are
keep
rotating.
explaining things to me though. I want you to show me something that I can say, oh, the sun's not within my perspective or circle of sight, or
It's
you
just a
can't.
sunset. It blocks it. But here's the deal: you have not provided a plausible mechanism yet. I can't debunk an implausible mechanism. There's no debunking. It's just a vague idea, untestable,
So you can't debunk it.
because there's nothing to debunk.
Thank you. I appreciate it. There's
You
nothing to debunk
provided
here.
absolutely nothing. It's a complete fail from the beginning. You didn't even show up to the race.
I explained it. It's observations that I've explained to
Yeah.
hundreds and hundreds of people that I don't
Doesn't-
even need to show them. They can
doesn't-
go do themselves.
But that's not
Yeah.
science. It's just a vague idea, untestable. That's it.
Seems like I got some of your viewers over here in my little chat room.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Yeah. So
So who is controlling academia, and do they have space lasers?
I would probably say the Catholic Church. That's probably who I would point to.
They're pretty
Yeah.
terrible in academia, actually.
Well, they started your little ball.
But they didn't. It was
Right.
Greeks over 2,000 years ago that were not
Galileo, right? Sure.
Catholic. Galileo was not Greek.
Yeah. Who was it? What's his name? Who's your priest? What's his name?
Keep going. Keep going. You know, Greeks.
It doesn't matter because it still has nothing. Can you show me some reality? Like you can screen share right now and we can talk about what you're screen sharing. So you can click on something like, hey, you went camping this weekend, show me some pictures, and we can be like,
Yeah.
oh, look up at the clouds. If you love the sun and sky so much, then you should have done some sky watching and we could look at those pictures. You went camping, where'd you go?
I
showed me,
went
yeah.
south of Duluth.
Okay.
But here's the thing. I measured the angle to the sun, and what I can
Let me
show you
see.
is a picture of that. All right, let me get it for you. I will get it. It's on my website at mctoon.net. I think it's December solstice is what I called it. I'll get that up. And
yeah, I didn't come here to discuss academia. I came here to discuss.
I've not
science
brought
and
up academia.
observations.
Yes.
You've repetitively
you have
brought up
not yet
academia.
once addressed science, because you don't know what science is. You think
Well, I've
science
asked
proves
you to
things.
bring up something
You
that we can
don't-
observe.
Yeah, you don't
and we can
understand
do
how
that
to
together.
how to provide a hypothesis that's testable, right? If you had a hypothesis that was testable, then
There's
we could
people in my
actually
chat
test it.
room that agree with everything I'm saying and that, what
Well,
I've observed too.
But they're idiots too. I mean, I gotta be honest. That they don't know what science is either.
you hear that, guys? You're all idiots. You're all idiots.
Yeah. I mean, I've never met a flat
I
earther
admit
that
to
can
knowing
handle.
nothing. I admit to knowing nothing.
I've never yet met a flat earther that knows what science is. Not once.
It's testing, observing, and repeating reality around you.
Thank you for showing that you don't actually understand what science is. All right.
Okay.
There is my 2019 December solstice. So here is my tripod in the parking lot there. And you can see where I measured the length of the shadow, 121 inches. And I measured the height of the tripod there, 50.5 inches about. Okay. Now, knowing that I am a certain distance from the Tropic of Capricorn, we can put that distance in and we can calculate to see if the Earth is flat, what is the elevation of the sun from my position.
These positions and angles work on my model as well, because depending on your grid location, you're going to see all the stars, sun, and moon based off your grid location because they're your compass, they're your calendar, they're your month, they're your day. They let you know where you are, when you are.
I was
at all
actually
times.
presenting to you. You asked me to present something, so
Well, I'm telling you, it works on my model too, and you
shut your yap
keep
while I'm
condescending
showing it. Okay.
Yeah.
So the distance to the
We'll
Tropic
do it
of
without the
Capricorn.
condescending. Yeah.
So the sun elevation on flat Earth from Minnesota is on December solstice is 3,163 miles elevation. The problem is that in Israel at 36 degrees north, using the same mechanism, the sun is 4,468 miles in elevation. They don't match. There's just one sun. The flat Earth hypothesis is falsified. But now, if we do the same thing and we hypothesize that the Earth is very far from the sun and that the Earth is a sphere, we can actually measure the radius of the Earth using, and you can see on here I have 3 different measurements. And they all come out to very close to each other within the margin of error there, 6,437 miles. Or these are kilometers, sorry.
Are those grid locations?
Grid locations. What are you talking about? Grid
of the
locations?
Earth, longitude, latitude. So they're of the Earth, right?
The latitude right here is 45 degrees, 45.57, 45.02, 31.35. Right? Those are the latitudes, because for this particular one, the longitude doesn't matter. It matters to the distance to the Tropic of
Because
Capricorn.
the sun's always over the longitude line, because it's So it seems to be small and local over everybody over the entire longitude line.
So this is at local solar noon, which is identical time for everyone on the same longitude line. Right? Everybody experiences the same local solar noon.
That's what the mainstream flat Earth model is. It's a sun chart. And that's what, it's a time and longitude calculator. Yeah. So we could just use that model for doing what you're doing right now.
Actually, you can't.
Yeah, because it's a sun chart.
But that only works for getting for talking about latitude and longitude. But as soon as you actually test it, by looking at the angle to the sun over a hypothesized flat Earth, every single latitude gets a different elevation for the sun, and because it fails.
It's an equidistant map. It's distorted from the center.
Yeah, it's distorted. But here's the problem. It doesn't matter. There is no flat Earth map that works for this, because every one of them gets a different elevation for the sun. Every one. If yours,
mine is based off your grid location, and yours is based off of it being a sphere and how far you are from the center.
You missed the part where I hypothesized that the Earth were flat. Okay. So it's not based on the globe, but right here, how far am I from the Tropic of Capricorn on your model?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I mean, I'm not looking at a map right now and models and distances.
How can I figure that out on your model? You said your model works. I can't even get you to answer how I can figure out how far away I am from the Tropic of Capricorn.
Well, yeah, the sun is going to be at a lower angle the further you get from the equator.
How far am I in Minnesota from the Tropic of Capricorn? How can I figure that out on your model?
You'd measure the angle of the sun to you.
Yeah. And then what?
You could tell how far you are from the equator based off the angle of the sun from you. That works on either model. Actually, I would say it's important my model.
Describe to me the method that I would do that, right? So here I am, 45 degrees north in Minnesota, and the angle to the sun.
I'm not here to discuss methods. I'm here to discuss what we're experiencing. I'm not your scientist or doing your research.
I'm trying to test your model. All right. Yeah. So
you do it the exact same way as ours. So
well,
it's just laid flat.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm hypothesizing that the Earth is flat, and I'm taking these 3 angles that I measured to the sun with my friends, and I'm testing them. So I just need to know, in order to test your model, how far am I at 45 degrees north from the Tropic of Capricorn?
I don't know. You tell me.
This is your model, not my model.
I'm not here to discuss that. I told you I'm here to
You are
discuss what
here-
we're experiencing.
You are here to have me test
But the
your
sun
claims.
isn't at the Tropic of Capricorn or the Tropic of Cancer. It's within your small circle of sight.
So
It's
you
not-
say,
I can't
but
see the
you've
Tropic
not
of Cancer.
substantiated. But you've
I
never
cannot see the
substantiated
Tropic
it.
of Cancer.
But you haven't
I can't see
substantiated
an
that
object
claim.
rise from that far.
That's a claim without evidence. What
No,
can be
that's-
asserted without
I see it
evidence
within my own area. I see
can
clouds
be
behind the
dismissed
sun.
without evidence. You've made a claim.
No,
It's not there.
you're
there-
making
right.
claims.
So
that's what it is.
no, I'm asking you now, how far, how can I calculate using your model the angle to the sun? How far using your model am I from the Tropic of Capricorn? You don't even know that. You don't
You
even
have to
a
travel
model.
the distance to measure that. So,
That's it. That's all you have.
well, we've measured it,
That's
so
pretty-
we could just look
that's
up a
pretty
map,
low.
and I could tell you your
But
give
you
me your
don't.
grid
but your
location,
map is
and I could
different
give
than
you
my
that.
map.
So, no, it's the exact same one.
No, on my map, the distance between the lines of longitude get smaller the farther south you get and the farther north you get. In yours, the lines of longitude are always the same distance apart. In your model, which
Once again, you're
which
discussing
doesn't match anything.
models.
Yes,
I'm discussing
that's how
how
we do
we
it.
observe the sun,
That's
moon,
how
and
we-
stars,
that's
small,
how you-
close, and local to each observer.
That's how
That's
you do
all I'm
science,
suggesting.
Preston.
Right.
That's how you do science. You develop
Okay,
a model.
and I can't speak
have a
outside of what I
hypothesis.
can test and observe, and you're asking me to do that, and I can't do that.
You
because
are
I'm
asking
not-
me to debunk your model.
No, I'm asking you to debunk a theory about the lights
Okay.
that we're observing that appear
That's
to
not-
be small,
let
close,
me-
and
let me
local
make
to
it
every
clear.
observer.
A
And many of
theory.
the people are thousands and thousands of people are all experiencing localized lights, and we're all experiencing it.
So you've
So-
said, but not supported. So
Well, you
so
haven't shown me any
to be
pictures. You
clear-
started to show me rulers of
to be
concrete
clear,
and
Preston,
and
so
this
you
and
understand,
that,
just a second.
and you're
A
using
theory-
globe measurements that came
Yeah.
from flat Earth measurements, and yeah,
So a
Yeah.
theory in science is what happens after a hypothesis, after you've done many, many tests. It's confirmed, right? So you're talking about, you want it to be a hypothesis, but you don't even have that. You have an idea. This is your idea, not your theory. This is your idea,
that people
of
are
it.
observing
But
and
it's-
repeating themselves.
but yet not testable because you haven't described it in enough detail to test. So it's not a hypothesis yet. You didn't even get to a hypothesis, Preston. Preston, you have nothing.
I'm just reading.
You didn't get to a hypothesis yet. Nobody can debunk a not hypothesis. There's nothing to debunk. You presented nothing. I'm trying to measure the angle and then test your model, because you say it's the distances are the same.
I'm not asking for
Right, but
academia and
this isn't
measurement. I'm
academia.
asking to look and
I'm-
observe.
I'm
To look and observe. I want to see you. You showed
I'm
me a ruler.
trying.
You didn't show me pictures.
I'm trying to test your model. I'm trying to evaluate your idea, but it's not even testable at all.
All
I'm
you
trying
have
to
are
press you on it.
observations, not evidence. What? How? Okay, all right, this is getting a little redundant. I got to get my kids ready for bed, and we're running in circles here. You're saying do these mathematical equations, and I'm saying show me observations, and we're not meeting in the middle. So-
You didn't start yet. That's the problem, Preston. But that's fine. I'll let you go.
Yeah.
Put your kid to bed.
Cheers, man. It was
Thanks
good
for coming
talking
on.
to you.
Yep.
Appreciate you giving me your platform, and vice versa. I subscribed. I hit the like button. Have a good night.
All right.
Mhm.
Bye. Oh, well. Yeah, just a second here. I gotta shut that down. I got a couple super chats here to read, I guess. To nobody's surprise, he had nothing. Pseudoscience is what he has. It is quintessential flat Earth is pseudoscience. So yeah, let's see. Holy Small says, how often in a day do you see your nose? All day. Your brain auto ignores constant information. Why would Earth spin be different? Absolutely. Well, Wolfie was on here. Wolfie 6020 was on here a little bit ago with Quinn from, was it Quinn? Quentin. Starts with a Q. I don't want to get it wrong. Sorry if I get it wrong. And he talked about one of the things that they cover in the medical part of getting a license, and that there's a certain amount of rotation that the human body can feel, and the Earth's rotation is below that threshold. The Logical Hillbilly says, I thought Oakleyeites were dumb, but Vaughnicians must be super stupid. Sorry. Wizard of Oz. Is this a live stream or a video from 6 years ago? Because that was nothing new from Flat Earth. Many Karen, the Greek was Albert Copernicus with his candlestick in the library. he thought, what did he say? Galileo. He thought Galileo, like, he's like, the Catholics invented the globe. No, people knew the globe was long before Catholicism existed. Mouth breather, does he not understand how it is impossible to test a theory whose basis is unique to each person? Yeah, he wanted pictures that maybe did not appear to him to be close and local, I guess. I don't know how ridiculous that can be. And Soap Flakes. What a fun name that is. Says, what does the Vatican have to hide by making us believe in a globe model anyhow? A question. Typically, they like to say that they are hiding the flat Earth to hide God, but the Catholics don't want to hide God, I guess. That was a whole lot of nuh-uhs from Daniel Cooper. Yes, it certainly was. Cake of Destiny. MC2 is not an anti-flirf channel. This is anti-drugs channel. I show it to my kids when I get them. Oh. So, well, that was, what do you say? I mean, he's like, it looks this way, therefore it is this way, and refuses to acknowledge measurements. Which is, again, it's foundational, right? You start with a conclusion. He concluded the Earth is flat. That's his conclusion. Then he looks for evidence to support the conclusion, ignoring anything that contradicts his conclusion, which would be, everything. And then number 4 declares that his conclusion has been undeniably proven. So, well, there it is. Give Mallory a wrench. Mallory. I don't know. Tell you what, Mallory. Send me a proposal. 3 pages minimum. And I'll consider it. Yeah, when I mentioned numbers, he ran away. He did. I might... Should I do an after show? I could do an after show. There was, let's see. Let's see here. Irish Demon is moving away from Australia. He was talking that he might do a something this week, but perhaps today. So maybe, just maybe, I'll see about that. I should start everyone by asking your opponent to define theory. It's a good idea. Plot hole. Johnny O. He lives in Dallas. So there you go. Josh Jackson. Why do flirts think that they are hiding God? What's the point or goal? Well, I don't know, because if that's the case, they're doing a terrible job of it, because there's about 2 billion Christians and another almost 2 billion Muslims. Just those 2 groups right there are over half the world's population that believe in God. So the hiding God thing has completely failed. if that's what they're trying to do. Now, maybe it's their particular version and flavor that they're talking about, which of course would be, you know, their cult. So I don't know. The plot hole. I have more mental quizzes for me. I didn't show many pictures. I did show him some pictures of the measurements I took, and he doesn't like measurements. They burn his precious. Jinsu. Does Mallory have to be on one knee to present her proposal? No. Just a, you know, a nice, well-written proposal. 3 pages. I don't need 10, right? Three's enough. Anyway, a Microraptor. Yeah. If God could be hidden by people lying about the shape of the earth, not a very impressive God. Absolutely. That's a great point. Yeah. Anyway. Silk Spectre, I was just on Preston's channel where he bragged he was just to use your platform. Yep, probably. A lot do that. More probably with FTFE than me, but guess who's getting Preston's contact info? So, King Crew says, I bet Preston only ears, flip-flops with and shoes with Velcro wears. Flip-flops and shoes with Velcro. Shoelaces seem too complex for him. You know, it's academia. Academia made shoelaces. Oh, Fumduckery, please yell loudly. These words. I don't know why I want this, but I do. I love midgets. I had a line in a video a while ago where I mentioned midgets, and people were like upset that I use that term instead of the politically correct term. So sorry. I still use that term, and I have seen some disagreement on the proper term for it. So here's Cretan Bull. You got it. And it's Sherlock, yes. He used my platform to make a moron of himself. Take that, yes. That's the thing. It's a whatever chasing, clout chasing, right? And he has 600 some subscribers, and in his challenge video to debunk his not claim, his not science, he's like, I want a big fish. Big fish? But I don't know. He wants a big fish. Remember Ushaya? Says Walter Fernando Pagliardini. Probably got that wrong. So is dwarf the right term for midget? I think it is. It is the generally preferred. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't say it to try to insult people. But whatever. Come after me, people who don't think that's the right term. Send me messages, I guess. So all right, I will do a live an after show, tell you what, because I want to wrap this up so that this video is a standalone. So if anybody wants to come on, and every once in a while people say, hey, next time you do an after show, I want to come on, this is your chance. So I will create I'll do it right now so that people have something to grab and a video to look at. Do you know that children are more important than knowing what the Earth shape is? Yes. A second. All right, I got to create the live stream. I'll get to it. So send me on Facebook, Discord, or email if you want to come on, and a couple people in the chat here maybe want to join. If let me know. But I need to get my my after show thing here. Right there. There it is. That's one. I just need a thumbnail. Is this a good one? Nope, that's not a good one. Did 33 claim? Ooh, what did 33 claim? I gotta see. Scroll back. Oh, I don't see. I think it's too far back. I don't see what 33 was claiming. Yeah, I would be surprised if he said that. That's that goes with what he's maybe would say. So, all right, there we go. This one. Export as. Can you see in my glasses what I'm doing? I'm just making the thumbnail for this. So I gotta create one. So yeah, he was streaming on his channel. I figured he might. Oh, 33 was in the other guy's chat. Yeah, I suppose. He likes to yap. He likes to yap. And he gets so saucy if he doesn't get to come on. He wants every week. He's like, bring me on. Like, I don't think so. I can't until after New Year, because I made the New Year's resolution that I won't have him on. So there it is. Got it. Creating the stream. Got my tune shine here. It's there it is. It got all confused. Yes, 33 does like to use caps lock. He's so lonely. I probably will let him on after the first of the year for one time. But right. And there it is, made it public. Get shareable link. Here it is. There's the link for the live stream coming up in just a couple minutes here. So anyway, if you're interested in coming on, let me know. I will entertain people. Hey, Mallory, I see you there. Maybe you can present your case for getting a wrench live. What do you think? So, all right, I will. I'll do the regular outro, and then we'll see you in the next one here. Thanks, everybody. Bye.